Okay. Go to the next. We got a funny video to watch after that. So here we go. Here's the steps. Identify the symptoms and problems. Identify affected area. Determine what's changed. Establish most probable cause. Determine if escalation is necessary. Create an action plan and solution. Implement a solution and test those solutions. Identify the results and effects, and then document the solution. So identifying the symptoms, you first ask questions, a lot of questions. Has this happened before? Is this happening to those around you? An example would be printer's not working. Okay. Is printers working for everybody around you? Yes. Okay, great. When did it start happening? Oh, just this morning. Was it working last night when you left work? Yeah, it was working great. Okay, great. Anything new happened since then? You installed any software? Well, yeah, I did install a thing for my phone. Oh, okay. Well, what, anything else you've done, installed or updated? He goes, no, that's it. And you find out, going back to the computer, that it was whatever software they installed overwrote the default printer on their computer, and ergo, they can't print now. And all you have to do is go to the printers and right-click and select the default, done. And that was it. And so, avoid jumping to conclusions, on the printer issue. Well, I don't know, you must have, uninstalled the printer. Well, you don't know that. You don't want to immediately become defensive, right? Which you might have seen that before or experienced that before. And believe it, those of us who've been around IT long enough, that was the de facto attitude that folks had about IT, was everybody in IT just, had an attitude, and, you didn't want to go to them because you were going to be ridiculed. I mean, a prime example, if you ever get a chance this weekend, is Nick Burns, the computer guy. Saturday Night Live skit. Anybody seen that before? Anybody raise your hand if you've seen Nick Burns, the computer guy. Not one person has seen Nick Burns, the computer guy. Nick Burns, the computer guy. It's Jimmy Fallon that plays the role.
Okay.
And this is SNL days. It's hilarious. You got to go home and YouTube that and watch it. It's hilarious. He comes in and, finds out what the problem is, fixes, but while they're telling him what the problem is, he goes, move. And then he gets in there. Was that so hard? And then as he leaves, he turns around and goes, you're welcome. And then it says, Nick Burns, the computer guy. You got to watch that. But anyway, that was that was IT actually. It was comical, but it was real. It was real. It did happen. You can't get away with that anymore today, though, really. You got to have a people skills and be able to talk to people and be able to relate to them and all that good stuff, and be all emotional and feelings and stuff. You got to have all that stuff now. Now, is there still people in IT that are like Nick Burns, the computer guy? Definitely, but they don't interface with the public. They stay in a cubicle somewhere and they do all the hard technical stuff, and they're usually good at that. But they don't interface with a computer. Majority of IT folks, though, generally have to interface with the public. And so pay attention, like it says here on third bullet, users' behavior, the way they're talking, and definitely, even though you probably already know maybe what the solution is, treat it like it's a unique thing, and make them feel like it's unique as well. Because if people feel like it's unique, you're spending your time to do that. If they feel like they're not unique to you and the situation isn't, then they're just another number basically in your docket for the day. So identify the affected area. After you ask the questions, figure out what they've installed, what they've not installed, if it's working for everybody else around them, things like that. The affected area would be, okay, is this affected one person, that person you're talking to, or a whole workstation, a work group, a department, the whole organization? And usually in IT, when it's organization wide, it's like a flurry. It's a flurry to IT. You might get one or two people pop in, and then within a minute, you've got 20 or 30 people calling, walking over. Oh, did you guys know the email's not working? Yeah, we're on that. We're getting it. And then you physically have to do an all call, so everybody knows you're working on it, or physically, if you don't have that ability at work, walk around, talk to everybody literally in your entire building. It might take 10 minutes to walk and see every person, but I've had to do it multiple times. Hey, we're having issues right now. We'll let you know when it's fixed. Don't do anything critical right now on email because you're not going to be able to send it. I don't want you to have to lose your work. So, that type of stuff. And it's repetitive things you got to do. But if it's locally to one person, they can't check their email, great. It's only one person. It's isolated. And so that's a good step. You need to know that. So you narrow down when it happened, the time frame. Okay, it worked last night at 5. My email did. I came in this morning. It's not working. Okay, explain to me what's not working. Okay, I can't send email. It's not going anywhere. I'm not getting email. Have you tested it? Have you used your phone and send yourself a test message or something? No, I've not done that. Okay, well, let's do that. So, and I'm going to send you one too while we're talking on the phone. I send one immediately. They get an email. They send one from their phone, from an outside email provider like Gmail or something, they don't get it. So I know immediately, okay, there's some issues on getting external email. Internal email is working fine. And so you start just narrowing down the time frame and isolating down what's going on, when it's appeared, how often, has this happened before, things like that. And so this is going to eliminate some causes. You might say, is there anything weird's happened or around your computer lately or something? Well, yeah, I did kick my Cat5 cable out of my computer cable out of my, they won't say Cat5, my computer cable out of my computer, and I had to plug it back in. And you go, okay, well, let me come over and look at that. So you go over there and look at it, and lo and behold, it's not seated well in the NIC card. The Cat5 isn't. It's in there, but it's not like clicked in there. So you click it in there, shut down email, restart it, and they get the email from the Gmail they sent 5 minutes ago. And then everything starts working. And so, again, by asking questions, becoming insightful on when it happened, you can a lot of times eliminate a lot of steps. So take time to troubleshoot correctly. Specific questions, you can narrow them down. Like in the email question, can you get internal email, external email, send mail, stuff like that. Printer issue, is everybody around you able to print, stuff like that. Unrelated user information, filter it. What that means is if they start talking about, well, I had this other issue that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Okay, great. Let's focus on this one though right now because I want to make sure we get this one done. But then after we're done fixing it, definitely let me know about that issue because we want to fix it for sure. So you've immediately recognized, okay, you've got this other whatever going on here, but we're going to focus on this issue. Okay, a lot of times people will do that too. Discover the time and frequency of problems, may reveal more subtle network problems, like the Cat5 not plugged in. Identify affected areas, leads to the next troubleshooting steps. So here's a kind of a diagram of troubleshooting on the pyramid, kind of. Is the problem limited to one user or workstation? Yes. Okay, examine individual problems, consider possible user error, Cat5 cable being unseated. If it's not limited to one user, it might be, is it limited to the department or to the group? Yes or no? If it's yes, okay, examine that server or router or switch in that area. It could be an issue. Is it universal, which might be the third triangle on the left down? That yes, it is universal. Okay, might be the actual servers are going down. The email server might be going down. Might be halted altogether possibly. And so you can go through this kind of, and you generally won't have this in front of you, but you're kind of doing a yes and no scenario as you're going through your head on what's affected. Is it individually? Is it group? Is it department? Or is it whole system wide? Another one here that have to do with the email issue. Has the devices ever worked before? Yeah, it was working great last night. Okay. No, if they say no, has it ever worked before, that means it's a new something, it's a new system, a new device that's connected to it. If it says yes, it has worked before, did it work last night? Yeah, it worked at 5. and this is like 9 in the morning now. Okay, find out what changes. They kick the Cat5 cable, try to sit it back in there, and you go over. And what I generally do is, if you know it's a hardware issue, and you already know that they've tried to fix it themselves, immediately go over and help. Don't try to do it on the phone. Don't say, okay, get out of your chair, get on your knees, and walk back into the, unplug the, don't do that. Just say, we'll be there in a couple minutes to help you. Because, it's just going to frustrate them, especially if it doesn't work. And so it's easier just to go walk over there. So determine what's changed. Become aware of recent changes about the Cat5. They kicked it out of the socket. Possible actions, you walking over there to fix it, or somebody else in your department walking over there. You also look if it's, say it's a network change. If this is why it's important to document. We'll say maybe a technician installed a new NIC card on that computer last night and didn't configure it correctly, or it's a bad NIC card. Had that happen before too, because that could be an issue as well. So you look at the most probable cause, what it could be. With a NIC card issue, it could be the fact, okay, I'm going to go check to see that it's plugged in right. Verify user competency. Ensure human error is not the problem source, which sometimes it is. Human error happens a lot. Verify the user is performing network tasks correctly. You can watch over their shoulder on something to see if they can replicate it. The one thing you don't want to do is just try it on your end and go, well, it works for me. I don't know what's going on with your end. You don't want to do that. That's irritating. Because I don't know how many times I've seen IT folks do that and the person walk away going, they never listen to me. They always say that. They always say that every time. They never have a problem. It's always working for them. And so talk over the phone, that's good. But, talking over the phone, you're going to do so much, really, especially when it's a pretty important thing, which for everybody usually is. Then results. Catch user-generated mistakes, basically gain clues for further troubleshooting. And so results is documentation of what you did. Okay, Sally, I plugged her Cat5 in. It took me 30 minutes to figure out what was going on. So let's say, so I document it, write it down, and then next week I'm on vacation. Joe takes over, and if it's in the database, he sees that she called last Monday about the same time, and she's having the very same issue, and he goes, you know what, let me just come over there and see if I can help you out. And sure enough, she kicked the Cat5 out again from the computer, all right? And that's going to happen. But if you didn't have that documentation, wouldn't know that. Can you recreate the problem? A lot of times in IT, you can't you cannot recreate the problem sometimes. You really can't. I like to say you can, but in my experience, a lot of times you can't. And that can be a number of reasons. You don't have the same type of configuration on your computer as they have. You don't have the same settings on their software that they have. You're not following the same steps that they're following. A whole bunch of different scenarios that can go into that. So what I generally do is, again, if I can remote into the system, if I'm not in the physical building, I can remote into like VNC or something to see what they're doing, to follow their steps. Or if I'm in the building, I can literally walk over there for a few moments, because email volleyball is not the answer. Email volleying back and forth, which happens a lot in IT. You can walk over and get something done in 5 minutes, which will take 2 or 3 hours in email back and forth. It's just so much easier to physically go over there and take care of it a lot of times. And then asking questions after you've reproduced the symptoms. Say you could reproduce the symptoms, and then ask the question, determine whether the symptoms are reproducible, what extent, and ask the user precisely what was done before the error. Like an example of the NIC card being kicked out. Well, I did kick it out this morning, but I did plug it back in. Okay. And still not working. And in this case, you verify that the physical layer, which would be the NIC card plugged in to the Cat5, make sure all those systems are working. Could be a faulty NIC card, a damaged cable, a bad switch or a switch going bad. Seen that before. An update happened last night on a server, and something went funky with an update, and it didn't restart a service, which a lot of times on updates when servers are restarted, services aren't automatically restarted sometimes. And so you might have to physically restart a service that was not started automatically, and that happens a lot. Software errors may also point to physical connectivity issues, where they can't connect to a network drive, they can't see a printer, which they normally could. Now, sometimes if everything's working great hardware-wise and physical layer-wise, sometimes just a restart fixes it. I will say that, especially on the server. If servers are slow and not pinging right and they're sluggish, especially Windows servers, and they've not been restarted in a while, do a restart. Let everybody know, hey, we're going to be restarting the server in 10 minutes so they can get out, restart it. And a lot of times that does, I would say 99.9% of the time on Windows servers, that solves the issue with connectivity issues. Continue on establishing the probable cause. Again, just asking questions, swapping out equipment maybe, installing a new NIC card, a new cable. I would do the cable first, NIC card second, if it's an issue like that. And this is just another hardware triangle. Is the cable properly installed into the NIC? On the email issue, no, it's just barely sitting there in the NIC card. Okay, make sure it's seated well. Then guess what? Test to make sure everything works. I suggest for sure at least logging off, logging back in, but if you have time, restarting the computer might be even better to do. And then, is it inserted? Say it's yes. Is the cable properly inserted in the wall jack? Might be inserted well on the computer, but maybe you got kicked out from the wall jack. I've seen that before too. Some of these cubicles actually have the Cat5 boxes in the cubicle walls, and those cubicle walls are kind of flimsy, and they can sometimes get loose and frayed. So you can go through all of those to verify connectivity. This one goes over more of that. Now, the next one's here, determine whether escalation is necessary. There's sometimes where you've tried your best, really. You can't figure out what's going on, and that happens. Okay, we're gonna take this up to the next level. We're gonna get some help to figure out if we can figure out what's going on. So that means bringing in more people or bring it to a whole other department. Okay, you figured out, okay, it's not my area of expertise here. I'm gonna give it to this next area. So maybe you're a tech person that installs computers for the department, and you find out it's a switch issue. You pretty much figured out it's a switch issue, and it's not really your area of expertise on setting them up. So you've talked to the folks at networking that's over the switches and go, here's what I found, here's the information, here's what I've documented, here's the steps I've taken, and then give it to them to escalate it. In the process, I tell the folks you're going to the next step, and you'll let them know on a timely manner. Keep them updated on what's going on. And what I generally do is, if that's the case, give them a loaner computer or a loaner laptop to use until it gets fixed, so they can keep working. And in IT, generally, you're going to have a computer or two or three, you should have anyway, ready to go, just in case stuff like that happens, okay? Where you give to somebody in a fix to help. So it might be a help desk analyst that needs to go to, it might need a network specialist, a coordinator. Say it's a rights issue, they can't get into a folder and they used to be able to get into it. You're not going to just start changing stuff. It might be a manager blocked them from getting into that information. And so you're going to take it up the ladder to their manager. Hey, Joe can't get into this folder. He says he's been able to before. And they're going to go, no, thanks. He knows he can't get into that folder. He was pulled from that last month because of stuff he deleted from that folder, so we don't let him in it anymore. Okay, I'll let you deal with it then. I'll just go back and say that I've talked to you and that you'll be getting with him shortly. And I have had this happen multiple times. You go back to the person and say, okay, well, I talked to your manager, let them know the situation. They're going to be getting with you in a little bit. And they're like, okay, well, thanks. They know they're not going to get anything they want. It's not going to happen. They tried. So is IT used a lot for round robin to maybe get stuff that they're not supposed to get? Oh yeah, that happens a lot, all the time. And so, always a great idea if you feel, again, it's a common sense. If you feel like anything has to do with rights or security or privilege rights or access, let that always go through their manager for sure. Because sometimes it's been taken away for a purpose and for a reason. But I have seen on the flip side that they have needed rights and the manager didn't know about it, and they gave that person rights. So that happens both sides. But IT is sometimes used to get things a person has been told they're not going to get. All right. Then create an action plan. Figure out ways to solve it. If it's a NIC card issue, not that hard to do, plugging it in. If it's an update that failed and restarting a service on a server, again, figure out way to do it and to fix it. And so, and while you're doing all of this, you got to consider downtime as well. Okay, can this wait till the weekend? Can we Band-Aid it until Friday at 5? If we can, great. Because it's going to take 3 or 4 hours, and it can wait. That yeah, we need to do an update, but we can wait till Friday. It'll function, maybe slow, but it'll function. We're going to wait and just let people know. Okay, we're gonna tackle this weekend, but just so you know, network issue on this is going to be sluggish. It's going to take longer than usual, but here's a workaround of how to fix it or how to work around it until we get it updated this weekend and fix it. Does that make sense? So don't just because you can do it. Don't just do it because you can do it. Because if it's going to cause downtime of a significant time, and you can, if there's a Band-Aid, do the Band-Aid until it's off hours, basically. And that leads to the next thought. You're already probably thinking, okay, if it's off hours, that means I'm going to be here when I'm usually not here to fix something. Yeah, exactly. Right, that's going to happen. So in IT, there are times where you have to come in way earlier than everybody and stay way later, work weekends maybe, work overnight, whatever it takes. That happens in IT. And so just let you know that happens quite a bit, actually. And so, that's, again, a common practice in IT for that to happen. So it's not just 9 to 5, definitely. So security, making sure that there's not any inadvertent security implications, like you've given a whole bunch of people rights they shouldn't have, or you've taken away rights people that usually had that don't have now. So don't do any wide sweeping effects. And this is really important. I am not upgrade happy and patch happy. Some networking people I know are, meaning if there's ever an issue or if they ever see updates out there, they have to update them. Anybody know anybody like that? They have to update them. They have to do it. That is very scary because a lot of these updates that Microsoft puts out are really for a lot of times companies that they've had to make a fix for, like HP or whatever. We'll just pick it on HP for a second. And they put it in their cumulative updates. Well, I don't need that. I'm fine. My network's working great. Because a lot of times if you apply an update, I've seen this happen where it can break a lot of stuff. And you come in Monday morning after doing an update over the weekend, and again, on your desktop, laptop, it worked great, but everybody else shot in the foot. They can't log into their system, they can't do anything. And then you got to roll back the update, and then that takes time. So what I recommend and what my mode of operandus has always been on upgrade and patches, and we do it here at the college, is we test it on a virtual machine, on a virtual network for a while, those updates, the cumulative updates, and we have it on a machine and network that's a replica of every other machine in the building that could be, like all the software that could be loaded, all the hardware connected to it. Then once we've realized, okay, and it's generally, we wait till the cumulative to the service pack update comes out, not the little bitty ones in between. So when the service packs come out, we'll say this June one comes out or something. We're not releasing it in June. It might not be pushed out to us until November, December of that year. Does that make sense? That's after you went through all the testing and all the bugs and all the issues, which you definitely will have. It will definitely happen. And so if there's patches and updates out there that you don't have, that's fine. That's no problem to me. And so, but I don't know how many people I've talked to in IT that are network admins or managers, that if they see an issue with the network, but then they also see a whole bunch of updates out there that haven't been applied, their solution's always, oh, it's updates. It's not updates. It's going to break stuff. It's literally going to break stuff, believe me. And so I can tell by some of you shaking your head you've had that happen or you've seen that happen before. So when you're creating a solution or action plan, make sure it's scalable, that it can apply. The NIC card plug-in issue could apply not only to John and Sally, but everybody in the entire building. The same steps I took to solve that can be applied to everybody. Cost, weigh options carefully. If there is cost involved, like it's a new NIC card you got to do, new Cat5 cable. Do we already have Cat5 in here? Can we build our own Cat5? You're like, we have the money. We want to just buy one pre-made. Yeah, we could, but why do we have all the tools? Why can't we just make our own? And so I learned this long ago. In IT, in any job you have, you need to treat it as you would your own home budget. Basically, I do. If I'm not gonna waste money on something I can fix myself. If I have the tools to do it, I can do it myself. Does that make sense? Now, granted, there's gonna be some things you're not gonna. If you're not like, I don't expect anybody in IT to do electrician stuff. That's dangerous. Even if I've known guys that have done that in the past. I'm not doing that. That's you pay somebody who knows that's an electrician to come in and can do that. But building a cable, Cat5 cable, yeah, you can do that. Well, it's been a while since I've done it. Well, and yeah, it might fail a few times, but it's good exercise, right? It's good for you. And so, anywhere you can cut costs is good. Consider poor network performance identification, like addresses those areas separately. And so what that means basically is that some areas might have to wait for upgrades than others. Than other areas if it's not needed, or if you have a Band-Aid you can apply, definitely do that. Vendor information on action plans. If you find a good vendor like CDW or something like that or whatever, they've got a good rapport with the vendor rep, keep that information, document it for future reference, and you reuse them over and over again. And if you find a good vendor, you get a good rapport with them, and they have good turnaround time and good texts and stuff, they're like gold, really. They really are awesome to have, to where you can call them and you can trust them with what you've asked them to do, and they'll follow through with it. Because I've also had vendors I've called, and they said they're going to do something, and they don't do it. And you call back later, I need to talk to John. John's no longer here. It was just yesterday I talked to John. What do you mean he's no longer here? He quit. Mary's over that account now. Okay, well, got to talk to Mary? And then you got to start the whole process over again. And no, I don't want that. And so if you find a good vendor that you have good reps that help you, that's, again, like gold. Is really great. And I'm willing to pay more for people like that I can rely on than somebody that I can't rely on. Testing information, again, this is vital. If you figure out a fix on whatever it might be, and you went through all the steps, and in the back of your head maybe that it's going to work, that's not going to cut it. You need to really test it, and more than once. I try to test things 2 to 3 times, and then I sit there while the person I've helped is tested it as well. Okay, that way I've done it. I know I'm comfortable with what I've done solution-wise, and I see that they're comfortable with what is going on. Because a lot of times it's important. Let's say you fix something, but it's not all the way fixed yet until the weekend. You're going to have to sit there and kind of handhold them on how they can work around this issue until we can come this weekend to really fix it. And so, does that make sense? So an email is not going to suffice. You have to literally sit there with them, and that's going to take time. It might take a couple hours, whatever, to get that done. And so make sure you've tested the solution, whether brief or long, doesn't matter. Patience is important, and I know it's, patience is a virtue, and we're all busy, but taking time to really test is important. One of the things, my job throughout the day is I do a lot of software updates, and so I go through the same steps every time before a release happens, like about 10 or 15 steps. Even though I know in the back of my head, most times I don't need to go through these steps. I know it's fine. But there have been times where I've went through the steps, very rarely, but it has happened, where if I didn't have went through those steps, I wouldn't have caught whatever issue it was before it released a lot. Again, that's why it's important to go through the steps, go through the testing. Very important to do that. And then roll out your solution, whatever it might be, small scale to the NIC card to wide scale email server. Contact everybody afterwards as well, after the implementation. Determine how and why the solution was successful. Determine solution's effect on users, functionality, avoid creating unintended negative consequences, meaning you can fix one area, and I've seen this a lot, and break the stuff in other areas, right? Because you rush through something or whatever. And so communicating is important as well. And so communication is not just to IT, but also to the folks in the area that you're working with or individuals you're working with is really vital. So always record, take time to jot it down. I always have my own journal I keep for myself, but then IT generally should have a global journal or a global database that you put data in of what's the job's been, of where it's at, what the status is. Is it open? Is it closed? Is it on hold? Where's it at? Managers are going to want to know that for sure, especially on long projects. Well, yeah, I've been waiting on John to get me the information on that email system you guys want. Well, he's not got that to you yet? Nope. And it's documented, and I've sent that in yesterday's report to let you guys know about it. Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that. Okay, well, I'll get with John. So communication is important, and I like to over-communicate, which is good in IT, because when you over-communicate, there's no question on where things are at. There's no question on where you're at with the project, where they're at with the project, and it helps tremendously. It also helps on the job changes, meaning vacation, you're sick, whatever, somebody can come in and pinch it if you have good documentation on exactly where you're at. Now, they might not even be able to do anything, right? They might not, but they'll be able to read what you've written down and communicate where you're at. And that's big help, a big help, definitely. Central documentation can be done in a database of any type. I've seen it done in Access, Excel. There's online ones. We use SharePoint a lot, SharePoint documentation. That works a lot. And then lastly here, we're going to talk about call tracking system before we get into the help desk. There's a lot of ones that are out there, help desk software. There's like Spiceworks is a free one you can use, spiceworks.com, where you can get a call, type it in the database, who's calling you, what time, what's the problem, where's the status at, did you fix it, is it escalated to the next next department, whatever. Very highly customizable. In fact, like here on our campus, when we have an issue, we email it to a certain email, what the issue is. Within a minute, I get a kickback of a ticket. It's an automated ticket of what the issue was, who it was assigned to. The next morning, generally get an email from an actual person that they've been given this assignment, and until it goes to close time, I can see exactly where it's at any time. And anytime they make a change or a comment, I get an email immediately. So some type of system is highly customizable. And the one I recommend, again, is Spiceworks. Spiceworks is totally free for any IT department to use. They do have a commercial version, but this one's a good one to start with. Because what Spiceworks does is it has a built-in ticketing system, and it uses VNC. It also has a built-in inventory system to where when you install it on any computer in your network and you give it admin rights, within about 48 hours, it has a log of every single device connected to your network, along with IP address, model number. Any information they can suck out of it is going to put it into this inventory. And then what's great about it is you can go back in later and put in warranty information to each one of those items. And it's a big time saver. And what's even nicer about it is once it does the inventory, you can literally just right-click, if you have admin rights on that machine, you can right-click on that computer and install VNC or do updates immediately with this software. And it doesn't take any time to install. So the hardest thing I've had to do on that one, or the trickiest one, is if it doesn't let you do the install remotely initially, is you can go to that person's machine and install VNC, get that initiation started, and then once that's done, you can connect to it from that point on. And it gives a nice ticket system, help desk ticket system built into into that system. So SpiceWorks, I definitely recommend. All right.
Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my cubicle?
Well, they told me I should.
Oh, I get it. You're the new guy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm supposed to be the one that should. Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my cubicle?
Well, they told me I should.
Oh, I get it. You're the new guy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm supposed to be the one that shows you the ropes, huh?
My name is.
Fine. Welcome. Welcome. It's a tough gig, you know. Internet help desk. I figure you got 4 essential services in our society. You got your police, your fire, your ambulance, internet help desk. You know, air traffic controllers claim they have the most stressful job. Ha! But I'll tell you, man, there is nothing that beats the adrenaline buzz of configuring some idiot's ADSL modem, even though he's running Windows 3.1 on a 386 with 4 megs of RAM, man. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for calling the Internet Help Desk. One of our trained technicians will be with you shortly. Please hold. So that's the first thing. Hold button. This is your best friend, okay? This is your teddy bear and your mama's teat all rolled up in a one. Always put the customer on hold, okay? Right off the bat. Shows them who's boss. Thank you for holding. Your call is very important to us. Please hold. Take some of the fight out of them, too, you know? Which is important. Because when they start telling you they don't know how to use a mouse, or that they've been putting their coffee cup in their CD-ROM tray, and they start to realize what an idiot they are going to vent all over you, my friend. Don't worry, I'll train you up. I'm a vet. I'm a pro. Hell, I've been here 8 months. Wow. Okay, thank you for holding. My name's Wes. What seems to be the trouble? You can't get your email. Okay, well, can you be a little more specific? You can't. Okay, please hold. See the X-Files last night?
Yeah, that was cool.
Thank you for holding. Okay, the first thing I'm going to need to know is if you're running Microsoft Outlook Express or Netscape Communicator. You don't know, of course. Okay, well, that's all right. Just take a look in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Do you see a big green N or a big blue E? Big black nothing. Okay. Well, that's entirely my fault, okay? I'm very sorry, and what I need you to do is, and listen to me very, very carefully, you're going to have to turn your computer on. Yeah. Oh, no, that's all right. Don't worry. I'm here. Okay, I'll wait. Thanks. Guy's got a computer 10,000 times more powerful than what we used to send a man to the moon, and he needs me to turn it on for him.
Yeah, that's funny because actually...
Okay, so you got to boot it up? No, sir. No, don't kick it. No, is it turned on? Oh, great. Okay. So the big TV part then is all full of cool, colorful pictures and stuff? Excellent. Okay, please hold. You know, I do feel sorry for them. I do, you know. I mean, they don't know why they want to be on the internet. They don't know how to get on the... They don't even know what the internet is. But they want to be on it. So they go down to Future Shop, they buy the most overpriced piece of crap the salesman could soak them for, and then they bring it home, plug it in, and boom, they're crash landed in the middle of a dark technology. Hey! What are you doing? You start looking at the cartoons for tomorrow today. What the hell are you going to do tomorrow, huh? God, what are you going to use for strength when you got to lead Joe Moron through clearing the porn out of his Internet Explorer history cache before his wife wakes up? Have some discipline, buddy. Okay, so you've got it booted up then, sir? Excellent. All right. Now, what I need you to do now is double-click on the little picture that you normally double-click on to get your email, okay? Now, what is the name of that picture? Microsoft Outlook Express? Or Microsoft Outlook? Okay, great. Just go ahead and double-click on that. And then when the program runs, I want you to click on Tools, and then I want you to click on Accounts, okay? And then when the next box comes up, click on the blue text, click on Properties, click... No, Tools. Tools, sir. Tools. T-O-O-L... No, okay, sir. I think you've run the wrong program. Okay. Outlook... No, sir, no, you're not running Microsoft Office. See, that's why I was... You need to run Outlook Express, okay? It's a completely different program. Illegal instruction. Well, sir, I'm sorry, but your copy of Office must be pooched. But that's not supported software, okay? You have to understand that... No, sir, you haven't broken any laws. No, it's an illegal instruction. It's just... Sir, look, I can't help you if you're crying, okay? Please, stop crying, sir. Suck it up. Suck it... Oh, no, don't unplug it. Do not unplug it, sir. No, do not God! You stupid piece of Okay, well, let's just plug that back in then. Okay, great. All right, I'll wait. Just hold, please. Okay, look. We got a serious 12 o'clock flasher here. You know what that is?
No.
Every appliance in his house is always flashing 12. There's no way to get a 12 o'clock flasher online. Can't be done. I've seen guys eat their own headsets trying. Now, we got to go to Plan B. Hi there, sir. I was just wondering, do you have a child in the house? You do? Great. And what's her name? Beth. Oh, that's very sweet, sir. Could I talk to her for just a second? All right, thanks. Hi there. Hi, who am I speaking with? Beth? Well, hi, Beth. I'm Wes. How old are you? 9. 9 3/4. Wow, well, that's very old. Listen, Beth, Your daddy really needs to get his Outlook Express configured to use the third-party dialer instead of LAN or whatever it's set to. Could you? Yeah. Oh, and check his SMTP preferences too. I think they might be pooch. All right, Beth. Thanks. Oh, and Beth. Listen. The next time your daddy tells you that his computer isn't working, I want you to tell him it's broken, okay? And tell him to give it to you to play with, and send him back to the store to buy an iMac. Okay, it's a computer especially built for idiots. For, you know, mummies and daddies. Yeah. Okay, Beth. All right. Well, get him a tissue then. No, I don't want to talk to him. Okay, thanks, Beth. Bye. Look, I'm going to go have a smoke, but if anybody asks, I'm taking a dump, okay? Here. Good luck. You'll be fine. Just keep your head up, your mouse arm loose, and stay away from the porn sites, because they check.
Internet help desk. Please hold.